What's up, everyone? All right, so today is day 6 of the small account challenge, and I'm continuing to make some good progress, which is great. I want to break down for you a couple things. During this recap, I'm going to talk about the challenge that I'm having right now with restricting myself to 1 trade a day. It is so hard for me because I see more opportunities, and I have this urge, probably as anyone would have, to grow the small account. Especially when we have days where it's really slow, I feel like, man, I should have traded more on the day where it was hot. I left so much on the table. And on the other hand, it's so important for discipline to take 1 trade a day because most beginner traders lose money. Most beginner traders with a small account are probably going to blow up that account. So if you could take just 1 trade a day, you can reduce the emotional kind of impulses, the emotional traps in the market with FOMO, with fear, with greed, with revenge trading, and everything else. You know, if you're only taking 1 trade a day, you're not going to be in a scenario where you made 500 and then on trade 2 you lost it all, because those types of events can trigger that emotional response where you start revenge trading to make it back. So 1 trade a day is the small account way. It is slow, and that's part of the deal. When you have a small account, you have to take it slow. So, you know, here we are, I'm on day 6. I started the account with $4,313. I'm up right now this morning at $5,827. So I'm up like, you know, $1,500, not including today. That's in the last 5 days. But that is a $300 per day average, which is phenomenal. It just so happens that today was only 132 and yesterday was only about 100. So the last 2 days have been a little slower. But you know, that's the ebb and the flow of the market, and that's been partly because the stocks that, well, it's been a little slower the last couple of days, and the stocks I've traded have been a little higher priced, have to trade with smaller share size, and that's a little bit of a challenge. Although actually yesterday I did have a trade with 1,000 shares on a lower price stock. So it's just, in any case, it's just the ebb and flow. So the second thing that I just wanted to give you guys is a link down below to download a PDF of my small account pre-trading checklist. 8 items are on the checklist. Things that you need to do, check off yes or no before you start trading a small account. And 9 of my favorite chart patterns. So those are the chart patterns that I encourage you to print out and put around your trading station so you can see them and have that positive reinforcement that these are the type of patterns I should be focusing on. Good quality, A quality patterns. Now, I know that at some point here, I'm gonna have a red day, right? I've had 6 green days in a row in the small account. I'm gonna have a red day at some point. However, because I'm taking just 1 trade a day, if the trade goes red, I'm gonna cut it, that's it, I'll be red, and it is what it is. I gotta be ruthless and cut that loss as quickly as possible. That's number 1. But number 2, because I'm only taking 1 trade a day, my quality standard is pretty high. That's probably why my accuracy's been higher. But it also means that if I end up having a loser, it's gonna be a loser on a stock that was a really good quality setup, and I think that will increase the likelihood that it'll be a small loss, or maybe even like negligible break even. Maybe I'm up only $16 or I'm down $16 or something like that. It's not a big deal at all. Now, once you start lowering the quality threshold so you can take more trades and get more aggressive, you start taking on more risk. And that's often where things can start to go off the rails and then very quickly can lead into that emotionally impulsive trading. So as a reminder, in case you didn't already know, trading is risky. Take it slow. Don't try to blindly follow me or anyone else. Trade in a simulator. Test yourself. Practice in a simulator. That's your first proof of concept, because if you can't make money in a simulator, you've got no business trading with real money. So trade in a simulator first, build up your track record, and then consider flipping the switch to real money, but with small size. Trade with small size. Once you've proven a track record there, then you start increasing. That's the right way to get started. Unfortunately, probably 99% of people do the exact opposite. They jump in with real money right away, big money, they start losing, they get angry, they get frustrated, it just compounds, it gets worse. And then they become a statistic of another failed trader. Don't let that be you, all right? Hopefully you can learn from some of the mistakes that I made when I was getting started. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. Make sure you download the small account pre-trading checklist along with the charts. Those are part of that same PDF. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning for day 7 of the Small Account Challenge. All right, hit that thumbs up. I hope you already have, but if you haven't, hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so today is day 6 of the Small Account Challenge. 1 trade, 1 entry, 1 exit. IMNM. So my trade on this was 250 shares, in at $22.97, out at $23.50 for $132.50. I sort of struggled to find something appropriate for the small account today. Didn't really want to be trading a $23 stock, but it was the one that made the most sense at the time. So I'll just move this right here. So IMNM was actually our leading gapper this morning, gapping up 45% with a news catalyst that this medication they're working on neutralizes the COVID Delta variant in preclinical testing. Okay, so this is a catalyst that I thought would be strong given the fact that the Delta variant has been part of what led to the biggest red day in the market since like October. So in months, over 6 months. Okay, so IMNM, my bias on it was to the long side, and the question was, where's a good entry? So as I was watching it in this area here, I actually took my first trade on it right around here, the break of 23.30. That was in my big account. That was earlier. So I traded it first in my big account, and that was a risky trade, not really suitable for the small account. I just kind of jumped in as it was squeezing up here, and we got this nice move up to 24. So then I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I can take a small account trade on it sort of right in this area here on this pullback. So it pulls back, and if I sort of move this, make this a little bit bigger, I was thinking about taking an entry right here. And I say, you know what? I don't think I could do it. It's too extended on the 5-minute chart. And it already kind of had its first pullback on this red candle here. So I liked the idea of it, and I couldn't do it in the small account. It ended up going up to 24.37, so it did give about 50 cents from the bottom there up to the top, went without me. And then it started pulling back here, and I watched it right here off 23. And I was tempted to take that trade right there. You know why? Because the previous breakout was 22.94 right here. So I thought, okay, look, it's coming back to that level of 22.94. If it holds that level and bounces off it, excuse me, then that could be a great setup. So oftentimes previous resistance becomes support. And in fact, it did bounce off 22.93, and it popped here up almost 50 cents, up to 23.57. So that one went without me. And I thought, oh man, okay, again. So now I've had 2 chances at it for the small account, and I passed on both of them. It then dips down again. So let's see, it pops up here first to 24. And then it comes all the way back down right here. And this right here was where I got in at 22.97. So I said, you know what? It's coming down to this level again. I missed it once. I'm not going to miss it a second time. So punched the long there, 250 shares, which is the most I could afford. So my account right now has $5,827.92. So this is the progress that I've made over these last 6 days. My first day, I started with, it was around $4,300, I think, on day 1. Let me just confirm. I don't remember to the penny, but I can get it for you here. So let's see. So day 1 last week, What was that? How much was I in? Oh, now I can't remember if I do have it. Okay, sorry. So $413, $4,313.06. So 4313.06. So now I'm just curious what I'm at. So $5,827.92 minus 4313.06 is $1,514.86. Divided by 5 is an average of $300 a day. So that's been my average over the last 5 days. Well, today I'm only up 132, so obviously my average is going to come down a little bit after including today's profit, but that's fine. So in any case, so I got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I bought 250 shares, which was the most I could afford because I'm trading with my cash balance. I'm not using leverage in this account. So I took the dip right there, and it popped up here, and I held through this little dip. It came back up to 23.66, but it was not able to break through that 66 level, which was a double top and resistance. So unfortunately, that was it, and then it sold off and really kind of pulled back a bit more, then got back above the VWAP, and then sold off at the open. So here's the thing. So I'm on day 6 here. I've had 6 green days in a row. But today, for instance, the other stock I was watching was NRBO. I was watching it pre-market. I was watching it on this micro pullback right here at about 407. And I said, all right, well, how many shares of this can I buy? And of that one, I was able to buy closer to 1,200 shares. So if I could make just 10 cents a share, I'd be up 120 bucks. And I was tempted to take that trade, and I didn't take it. So I didn't take that trade. It goes up from 408 up to 420, so 12 cents a share. You know, that would have been 10 cents, $120. And then I was watching it kind of again in here, and it pops up a bit more up to 28. And then I was watching it again right here over 28, and we got to move up to 37. And then there was a little false breakout right here. And then at the open, we got this squeeze right here from 420 up to 430, and the break of the pre-market high of 428 gave us a nice move there up to 450. So all that's to say, I saw a few other opportunities today that I was tempted to trade. Some of them I didn't take just because I was hesitating. And then after I'd taken my one trade on IMNM, I said, well, I've already taken my one trade. You know, I one trade a day. It's a small account way. And that's true. But for how long is that the small account way? Until your account's not small anymore. Until your account is big enough that you could afford to trade a little bit more actively and start taking a little bit more risk. So at $5,800, my account is still pretty small. It probably makes sense for the first 10 days of this challenge, at least, to do one trade a day. And then maybe from day 11 through day 20, 2 trades a day. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Then maybe from day 20, day 30, 3 trades a day. I don't know. But at a certain point, you are going to probably be limiting how much money you could make by restricting yourself to one trade a day on the one hand. And then on the other hand, restricting yourself to one trade a day is really good for discipline. When you have a small account, it's so easy to fall into the habit of overtrading and giving back profit and churning commissions, and then falling into one of the emotional traps of trading, of revenge trading. You know, you're up 130, you take a trade, you lose 75, and now you're trying to get back to up 130. You spend the rest of the afternoon trading, generating, possibly hundreds of dollars in commissions, and then losing more and more and more, getting more and more frustrated, and thinking, man, I wish I had just stopped when I was up $132. Clean and simple, one trade, and I'm done. So, the fact is, trading is very difficult and it's risky for a lot of different reasons, but one of the biggest challenges is that emotional component of FOMO, anger, frustration, and trading from a place where you're emotionally fueled. And if you cap yourself at one trade a day, it's hard to get emotionally fueled over one trade. And even if you do, you're like, well, I have this rule, it's one trade. It's one trade a day. So what can I do? I got my one trade yesterday, I made like $100. I got my one trade today again, it's like $100. Is this slow progress? Absolutely. It feels very slow to me to be making only $100 a day these last 2 days. But from a $5,800 account, 100 a day is fantastic. That would, if I was consistently doing it, be $25,000 a year if I just stayed at 100 a day. But of course, once the account grows over the first few months up to 10,000 or 15,000, then using my cash balance, I'd be able to start taking bigger trades, and that one trade a day could be more profit. So then there's, I guess, the other scenario is, do I just continue taking one trade a day, knowing that every day I'm able to take a slightly bigger trade, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And then by the time I'm on day 15 or day 20 and the account's at 7,500 or 8,000 or 9,000 or whatever it might be, that one trade a day is going to be a little bit of a bigger punch. Obviously, if I had taken this same trade with 2,500 shares, I, in theory, would be up $1,300. So, and that would be a terrific day. So I don't know whether the right approach is just to continue with one trade a day and let the account just grow slowly. I think that's probably, from a discipline standpoint, very good. And from the standpoint of most beginner traders lose money, most beginner traders will blow up a small account. So if you restrict yourself to one trade a day and you get 10 days in, 14 days in, 20 days in without blowing up your account, I feel like that's already a pretty impressive achievement. And I think that you probably got there because you restricted yourself to one trade a day. If once you take the restrictions off and you just start over trading, inevitably one of those days you're going to end up doing something stupid. You're going to take 15, 20, 30 trades because you got FOMO and nothing's stopping you, and then you really get yourself into a jam. So I think I'm just feeling a little impatient with the slower progress, but 100 a day is really good, and slow and steady is the name of the game. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So if I start increasing to 3, 4, 5, 10 trades a day, that's when I'm kind of getting into more of that, more of the sprint of trying to race to grow the account. I can race to grow an account. If that was what the goal was, to see how fast you can grow an account, I've done that before. I could do that again. I think the purpose of this challenge was to show account growth without using leverage, without being so aggressive, and to trade in a way that would be admirable for a beginner trader. And I think one trade a day is the way. So anyways, today's another day in the books, day 6, making a little bit of slow progress here. It just so happens that the momentum has been on a little bit of the higher price names, and therefore 250 shares, I've got to get 50 cents to $1 a share to have a nice winner. An RBO, I guess I could have gotten a little something on that and maybe been up a little bit more today, but right now, one trade a day is good training. This is the right way to approach a small account, and the account is still small. So that's it for day 6, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning for day 7.
And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content. But do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.